Hello everybody and welcome back to Magna Carta 2. In this video we are going to start the next set of trials and boss battles that would lead us to ending Lestrada and ending the game once and for all. We have a couple of little hurdles in our way, but not many. So let's get started.
Celestine, if you would.
Yeah, let me at it! This is the royal chamber. He who would pass into this place must present the 4 marks of royalty. If you possess all 4 marks of royalty already, then you may pass. However, he who does not possess them as yet may obtain the marks in the royal trial here. In the royal trial, your task is to go to the 4 rooms and acquire the marks. Upon acquiring the 4 marks of royalty, return forthwith to this location. At that time, the royal spirit will appear and invite you to the royal mausoleum at the center of Lestrada.
You have the marks, Zephy. You can pass right away.
The heart of Lestrada. We can be sure that the final battle is waiting for us there.
Let's defeat Schuenzeit and protect this world.
Yes. Let's break Schuenzeit's curse.
Alright, so I do have to correct myself. Back when we started our second set of trials and we got the mail from Icton about the treasure chests that we collected in the area, I had said that I think the treasures vary based upon you completing the royal trials back when we did those side quests, but that's actually not true. Those treasures will show up regardless of if you have finished the royal marks quests or not. It's at this point that everything changes, and for some reason, every single time I come to Lestrada, I just forget about this room. I guess just because it's so small, and every single time that I've played the game, I finish the royal marks quests, and I've been able to continue right through. So if you haven't completed that quest, you will have to go and spend a little bit of additional time getting the 5 marks. But if you did finish those quests earlier, like they mentioned, you can just go straight on through to the final part of the game. However, there are a treasure chest in each of the rooms to collect. And so we are going to collect these. There isn't much in these treasure chests. We've gotten every single weapon in the game for all of the characters, so there's not really anything too big you'll be missing out on. I do believe that most of these chests are just commons. And another thing that I should point out that I forgot to mention in the last video is that Claire dropped a couple of really good pieces of equipment upon her defeat. She drops Judo's final weapon, which is also the final weapon in the game, and she drops a unique accessory for Crocell and Zephy, so be sure to equip those if you want to. I've gone ahead already and I've sort of made up my team and done my equipment the way that I want it done. So I'm pretty much ready to go. I just want to open up these chests to showcase what's in them for those of you who are interested. There's also a pillar in this room, which is the final pillar of the game. And these chests sort of blend into the environment. I didn't notice them at first, and I was checking out the rooms and not finding anything, but when I took a closer look, I did find that each of them does have a treasure chest in them. And you can also use these commons at the last minute to rearrange your common board if any of these commons are of interest to you. There's a couple of nice ones here, but I think some of the ones we've gotten earlier are much better. And is that the last one? I think so. I think that's all the rooms. Alright, perfect. Now that we've done that, we can continue on to the Royal Mausoleum because we already have the marks. So before continuing on, like I mentioned, this is the last pillar of the game, and it's also the last sort of point of no return. So if at this point you want to backtrack and go to Earth for whatever reason, you know, if you've missed something or you're really low on supplies and you absolutely need to get off of Lestrada, then you'll want to make sure that you save at this pillar and save it perhaps into a different slot before continuing on, because after this there are going to be no more save points and eventually the game is going to end. That's kind of a key thing to keep in mind. Additionally, for this upcoming fight, I've picked my party. I'm going to be using Crocel, Argo, and Judo, and I have equipped them all with Fever and Burn defense, which is really quite essential in the upcoming fight.
So, you have come to me at last.
Strauss's corpse! It looks exactly like Schuenzeit!
I don't believe it. It isn't possible. Schuenzeit.
Indeed. I am Strauss's exact duplicate.
Duplicate?
After you were disposed of, I made second Elgar, yes? This is the same thing.
But that means you were also the one who started the Avis War and the Ruhald Civil War, weren't you?
Technically, that was not me, but one could also say that it was. They were caused by earlier duplicates, you see.
Then why didn't you offer yourself as the sacrifice instead? If you are Strauss, then shouldn't you be the true Magna Carta?
Unfortunately, over the course of so many duplications, the power of my Kamond has gradually diminished. I could not become a Magna Carta.
The number of lives you've taken, the pain you caused over the centuries, is immeasurable. Was it really necessary to go to these lengths to pretend that Lansheim was a paradise?
This is a world that I have protected, a paradise that I made. To Lansheim, I am like a god. I am the creator of paradise. Were it not for me, Lansheim would have likely been destroyed. All people yearn for paradise. Why do you people resist?
Then why don't you tell everyone what the truth really is? The truth about the world you created by killing tens of thousands. The truth about the real cost of this paradise of yours. Would they be so eager then? You weren't ever trying to protect the world. You've just been trying to bend it to your twisted will!
Silence! Ah, so now you owe your life to the young lady here.
Schuenzeit. No. I mean Strauss. Stop this. All the things that you're doing, you aren't doing for the good of the world. 1,000 years ago, you did save this world. Of that, there is no doubt. Now you've taken a wrong turn, and are on the wrong path. How long will you go on spilling the blood of innocent people?
I've no need to make excuses to a coward full of self-loathing who refuses to do her duty.
You have no right to talk to her like that. Even if she died, the world wouldn't be saved. It would just be one more sacrifice. How long is this gonna go on? Are you gonna keep it up until you've killed every human in Landheim?
I see that talk is useless. No matter, it was as I expected. Draw your swords!
I was hoping that you would say that.
So that's sort of a twisted turn of events in that just as Elgar was following Schuenzeit's words, Schuenzeit has to follow Strauss's words. So I guess in a way, it's not really his fault, but in a way, it is. Either way, this has to end now. So this is part 1 of the finale. We have to fight Schuenzeit first. And Schuenzeit is once again a repeat character. We fought him back in Judo's Mind. And just like with Claire and Luaren, he's very similar to the first time that we defeated him. And that is why I decided to protect myself against fire, fever, and burn, because he has the ability to cause that status effect on your party, which is quite devastating. So that's something that you definitely need to be on the lookout for. And once you've protected yourself against that, what you want to do is make sure that you are kept up in the healing department, because he's quite a heavy hitter. It might not be a bad idea for you to keep a healer on hand if you find out that you're burning through too many items, because we do have a second battle after Schuenzeit, and we do have to keep items for that fight as well. I think the last time I did this, I did it with Zephy in my party, but I'm not sure if putting her in would have much of a difference. I guess if I keep blowing through too many items, that's what I can do. Now, Schuenzeit, of course, is a close ranged attacker. He attacks with a sword, and unlike Claire, he kind of attacks whoever is in the way. He doesn't just focus in on one character, he'll go after one and then the other, and he'll kind of move around. Which kind of makes him a devastating character, because you're not just focused solely on one person, you kind of have to split your attention and focus on everybody to ensure their safety.
I can still this is it! Leave everything to me.
And I find that he's very, very similar to Alex. They have very similar battle styles. So when you're fighting Schuenzeit, just kind of keep in mind the strategies that you used back when you fought Alex before we came to the Strata. Other than that, though, I don't really have much of a strategy. A good offense is the best defense. If you can chain very successfully and kind of, beat him to a pulp, then that will definitely improve your chances of defeating him. Protecting yourself against those status effects and choosing a party that you're confident with are all definitely going to be factors that will help you out. I do believe that he can also stun your characters, which may interfere when you go to chain, but I don't find that he does that as often as he will put burn on your party members.
I'll show you the power of Trewa!